Welcome to this week's edition of the War Eagle Wrap Up. I am your host, Charlie Kraus. You can follow us on our website, coachandcrewshow.com, on Twitter at Coach Crew Show, on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, with that said, Auburn won 34-24 going away, but anybody who watched that game knows that that was not a victory. That was more of a survival. And it's probably got lots of frustrations and questions, to say the least. So let's jump right into things. Starting with offense, non-existent. Bo Nix did not show. Tank did not show. The O-line did not show. Receivers did not show. 12 points in the first half, all by field goals. It was ugly all around. Ugly. There's no way to discount it. So now the question remains, or as asked, was it a drunken hungover from the Penn State loss? Were they not prepared? What was the deal? Let's put a pause on that for a moment and put a pin in that. Now let's go to the defense. First half, over 200 yards of rushing, not total offense, but rushing given up. And Georgia State had a 24-12 lead going into halftime. And it was fugly. No other way to describe it but fugly. Come out, and you figure, okay, they're going to make a statement in halftime. Clipboards will get broken. Lockers will get slammed. Or the extreme opposite. You're better than this, and you figure it out. I'll be outside waiting for you. And momentum will come, and all of a sudden, it'll be a boom, boom, boom. You got to 19, boom, 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 26, and then before you know it, they're at 51. And all is well with the world. Well, that didn't happen. A 3-and-out later, and luckily the defense was able to stand. But in the first half, that defense was taking the same hiatus that the offense took. So then the block punt happens. Boom, major momentum, major touchdown, and the crowd's finally back into it, and hope is alive. 24-19 against Georgia State. Yes, Georgia State is going to make a bowl game. They're going to be one of the Sun Belt representatives in a bowl game. Yes, they beat Tennessee a couple years ago, but Georgia State. Okay, that should never happen to a program like Auburn. But here we are, 24-19, and in comes TJ Finley. And there's reasons why he threw 3 pick sixes or 3 picks against Auburn last year. Against Auburn, in Auburn, again, when he was playing for LSU. Look, I don't want to talk bad about a kid. I really don't. Bo's earned the right to have some negatives thrown his way. TJ, welcome to Auburn, but I don't think he's the right fit at a quarterback position. And I don't mean to speak negative about him, but at 6'7", he's just not mobile enough. And it was obvious as well, he can't make a pass over 10 yards accurately either. Bo had a bad night, and Bo can eat that, and Bo can earn that, and Bo can hopefully take it on the chin, learn from it, and improve himself next week on the road at LSU. I don't know where TJ's ceiling is. And that's the difference. And so I think if I'm right, and I could be way wrong on this, I think Harsin made a statement. And it was like, all right, Bo, you're done. If you're not going to come out and put up results and play, we're going to sit you, and whatever happens, happens. A couple plays later, a couple drives later, Tank fumbles. Same thing. You didn't see Tank the rest of the game. Wide receivers, minus that 2-point conversion, our top 2 wide receivers, non-existent. Okay? Non-existent receivers, 2 running backs, non-existent, and our starting quarterback, non-existent. I'm pretty sure that Harsin was just saying, you know what? You're not going to show up and give me the results I want. I'm not going to play you. Next man up mentality. Now, your starter's potential is here. Next man up, in theory, their ceiling is here. And that's what we had to play to tonight. And luckily, oh my gosh, 4th and goal. You run backwards for 5 yards. Really? I think that was the trick play of all trick plays, because somehow the C's opened. It was a direct line target pass, touchdown. and then Smoke Monday with the pick six going away. Wow, that was a lot to take in, a lot of aggression to swallow, a lot of pizzas to be swallowed later to eat your angers out. This was, if they called it a trap game, then yes, this was absolutely a trap game. This closes out Auburn's non-conference schedule. They did go 3-1 in this process. Wow. Before we get into the stats and stuff, let's take some questions from some of our audience members. And Davey Norwood writes and asks, is it true they didn't feel a need for a game plan this week? I don't know if they didn't have a game plan. They had a plan. I don't know what the plan was, but clearly it was not received at all. Period. Not received. Maybe they were one of these type of teams that, hey, we're going to practice 2 of our days for LSU, and then, oh, by the way, throw in something for Georgia State. I doubt that, but man, oh man, what the game plan was versus execution, non-existent. He also writes, has Nix entered the transfer portal yet? I hope not. I know that's frustrations, and I know that's sarcasm coming out. I still think Bo Nix is the answer out of the 2 of them. Bo's ceiling is much higher than Finley's ceiling. Having said that, who's third string right now? Because maybe that could be a solution as well. At Devin_804_Deans writes, is Finley the starter next week in LSU? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Bo's ceiling and his floor are both higher than TJ's ceiling and TJ's floor. I think Bo is still the solution, though I'm wondering who is the third on the depth chart going into it. But regardless, the priority for the LSU game is 3 things: defense, special teams, run the ball. Those 3 factors are going to help you win in Death Valley, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central time. It's going to be a lot of drunken Go Tigers going around that stadium, and it's going to be just like Penn State crazy. How do you shut them up? You run the ball. Okay? So our running backs and O-line need to show up. Our defense needs to put them down early. And if you saw the Mississippi State game earlier this afternoon, LSU's offense is not what it was in 2019 with Joe Burrow. So their offense can be contained. Stats for the game: Bo ended up under 50% at 13 completions for 27 attempts for 156 yards, no touchdowns, and luckily no picks. But it was obviously TJ's performance that came in and helped that matters out. TJ Finley came in and was only 9 of 16. The 4th down touchdown pass was his most highlight of the night, 97 yards passing. Rushing the ball, the team ran the ball for 166 yards. No true highlights in the runs, though. It's just what it was. Total offense, Auburn came along at the end, outgaining them 419 to 384. But Georgia State still outrushed Auburn by over 100 yards throughout the game. It was just one of those, oof. And luckily, it was the second half, I guess, ball control that eventually did Georgia State in. We did have the ball for 78 plays throughout the game, and the majority of those 78 came in the second half. So this was not a game to just say, hey, let's go back and put this in the archives and watch and enjoy on a day we're bored. No. There's a lot of analysis coming in, and the film study is not going to be the normal, whether it's 45 minutes, an hour, whatever the case may be. The film study on this night is going to go on a long time. And it's just going to be those ones where you say yes, sir, to every single time that they make criticism of something and show you an opportunity for growth and improvement. Otherwise, it's going to even be a more painful time when you get on the practice field later that afternoon or the next morning, when whatever the case may be, when they show the stuff. As mentioned earlier, Auburn's next game is on ESPN next Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Time against LSU. They are in the Bayou country. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. They've experienced it many times before. They'll experience it many times again. It's going to be, oh, what a game. That's going to be a better, I expect a better game out of Auburn then, and I think you're going to get a better game out of Auburn then. This has been the Coach and Crew Show, specifically the War Eagle wrap-up. Visit us on our website, coachandcrewshow.com. Follow us on Twitter at Coach Crew Show, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until then, as stressful as it was, as frustrating as it was, War Eagle.